Artificial intelligence, or AI, is developing faster than most people expected. And I'm sure you've seen AI come up on social media and in daily conversations a lot recently. So, in this episode, in this English lesson, we're going to look at how to talk about AI in English in a natural way. You're going to get some really good listening practice too, where I'm going to talk about AI in all different fields of life. And also, like I said, give you some really great phrases that you can use so that you can talk about this naturally too. But before all that, be sure to check the description for some fantastic English learning resources and also another lesson where I talk about how you can use AI to learn English. Now, the first thing that I want to go through is this phrase called to hear of something. To hear of something. Here is a sentence with that. A year ago, barely anyone had heard of ChatGPT. Okay? A year ago, barely anyone had heard of ChatGPT, which means that nobody knew about ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is a chat that uses AI that I'm sure you've either heard about or that you have used before. I use ChatGPT every day for my general interests and also a lot for work as well. And also I use it for learning languages. So I use it to create sentences for my language learning routine. So some more phrases with heard about or heard of. Have you heard about that new movie with Sydney Sweeney? Have you heard about that new movie with Sydney Sweeney? No, I haven't heard about that. I haven't heard about that. Now, before we talk about AI and jobs, and if they're going to take our jobs, let's go through how people are using AI now. Like I said before, I use it every day, and a lot of people are using it every day too. So they're using it for things like chatbots and virtual assistants. So this is what I use it a lot for, as like a virtual assistant. It writes my YouTube descriptions for me. It helps me come up with new English lessons for you on YouTube. And I really like it to help me write emails or even put together resumes as well. It's also being used a lot for business automation. And automation means to do something automatically and not manually. One area that I don't like at the moment is the video and image creation. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of people post things that are AI generated. I don't like the images that it's creating at the moment. What do you think about this? Do you like the images that AI is creating? And also, what about the videos? And this brings up a really interesting topic of whether we're going to know if a video is AI created or we're not going to know if it's AI created. And this is going to be a bit of an issue, obviously. And it's changing the way that people make content on social media and how people consume content on social media. And there are a lot of fake images going out at the moment, but also I don't like the style of AI images and video. Do you? Let me know in the comments. But I think this will improve with time and people will be able to create their own style in a way that isn't this generic, this boring AI style content. And like I mentioned before, one of my favorite ways to use AI is as a personal learning tool. So I use this to learn new languages where I create sentences at the moment in French and then put them into Anki. I made a video on this recently. Again, the link to that is in the description. And I also like it to summarize YouTube videos or summarize books that I have read. So I use it as a way to try and understand complex topics and to break down, to put things into smaller chunks so that I can fully understand what I'm learning in that moment. So here are some useful phrases for this category. The first one is it saves me hours of work. It saves me hours of work. So I'm sure you've heard the phrase to save time, but you can use this with me, you, them, us. in there too. For example, it will save you hours of work. It will save you so much time if you use AI in this way. And a similar construction is it helps me come up with new ideas. It helps me come up with new ideas. So to come up with new ideas means to invent new ideas, but we're focused on help me come up with. So you can also say something like, it will help you come up with new ideas. Now, the next section is all about AI in jobs. And this is one of the most talked about fears around AI. And it is job losses and how it is taking jobs. Now, I've seen quite a lot of news stories recently when it comes to AI and jobs, especially when it comes to coding. So a lot of the entry-level jobs for coding are not being created at the moment, and they are being replaced with AI because AI can code nearly as well as a human at the moment, and this is probably going to get better. And this is bringing a lot of concern and a lot of fear around AI because some people think AI will replace a lot of jobs. I also think AI will replace certain jobs, but it might not happen as quickly as people think. In tech jobs and tech-run companies, it will probably happen much quicker, but in traditional industries, it won't happen as fast, in my opinion. And on the other hand, others believe it will create new opportunities. But I am hearing stories all the time about how AI is doing things that nobody thought was possible. For example, I saw a story on how it is able to do a job of a doctor in certain ways, how it is able to treat patients or to prescribe the right kind of prescriptions. And I do know a lot of business owners who aren't hiring at the moment, and instead they're looking at AI and automation tools to help them grow their business. But here's a great phrase that you can use when you want to talk about a topic like this. It depends on how we use it, or it depends on how people use it. So if you want to get specific about an opinion, you can say it depends on something. It depends on how better these models get. It depends on if it's going to get regulated or not. And as this is a complex topic, another great phrase here is, it's hard to say for sure. It's hard to say for sure. But what about you? Do you think a lot of jobs will be replaced by AI? Let me know in the comments. The next section is all about creativity because AI can now write stories. It can paint pictures or create digital art. And it can even compose music. You might have heard about that band, that AI band, that got hundreds of thousands of listens or downloads on Spotify. But is this real creativity? This is an interesting topic because some people say it feels creative, but it's copying patterns. It feels creative, but it's copying patterns. And you might be thinking, well, that's what humans do too. In order to create new art, we need to copy a pattern that has been done before, but then change it in a way that suits us. And then I also think about what it's going to be like when we read a novel and we love the novel, but later we find out that it has been created by AI. What's that going to make us feel? And it's the same with music. If you listen to a song and you love this song, then you find out after that it's AI. How's that going to make you feel? Is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing? Is it going to make you feel empty because you enjoyed a song or a novel that was written by a computer instead of a human? Now, before we look at some really interesting idioms related to AI, let's first talk about how we feel about AI so that we can really express our opinion about this. So you might say, if you are excited, I'm excited about AI. I'm excited about the future of AI. On the other hand, you might have concerns or small concerns where you say, I'm a bit concerned about privacy. I'm a bit concerned about privacy. Because when you enter in your information into an AI chatbot, that information is being stored somewhere. And people have concerns about what they're sharing with AI models. And if you're in the middle, you can say, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know how I feel about it yet. And there's a great phrase for this, which is, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. In terms of how I feel about it, I like using it for certain tasks. And at the moment, I'm using it a lot when it comes to searching for things. So instead of using Google search and asking questions on Google, I tend to go to AI first to get answers for things that I know have a definitive answer. Because when you're searching for things, you could be looking for opinions on something, or you could be looking for facts. And I like to do it for facts and that kind of research. For example, when there's a new policy or there's a new political point in the USA, I like to try and get the facts from AI, but ask it to look at it in a balanced way. So it gives me the data from sources that I trust. But when I'm researching something where I like to get a bit more color and a bit more opinions, I tend to go to YouTube instead. And I do have some concerns about the privacy and also about how quickly it could take over in terms of the job market and how quickly it could take people's jobs. This could happen quicker than we think, although I'm unsure about it. It's hard to really know exactly how quick this could happen. But if it does happen very quickly, then this could have big consequences for the job market and economies around the world. Now, here are some useful idioms to help you talk about AI and technology in general. Now, you might hear someone say, the future is here. The future is here, or the future is here now. And this is a bit of a marketing term, but it's basically saying what you think is going to happen in the future is happening now. So, for example, when somebody releases a new AI tool that creates incredible videos, they'll say the future is now. Another phrase here is it's a game changer. It's a game changer. This tool, or AI in general, is a game changer. And this means something that changes everything. It's something that has such a big impact and it changes everything you have thought about what is happening right now. And another one is to get with the times. To get with the times. You'll hear people say this when it comes to adapting to modern trends. So someone might say, you need to get on TikTok. You need to post videos on TikTok. You need to get with the times. 10 years ago, it was you need to advertise on social media. You need to get with the times. And right now, it's you need to invest and learn about AI. You need to get with the times. All of these phrases will be in the description for you so that you can learn them. And like I mentioned before, if you want to learn these phrases in a natural way, then use the method that I talk about in the video that I'll leave in the description too, because it goes through the 2 tools that you need in order to reach a high level of English. And I talk about the method that you can use in order to get this right. Now, if you found this useful, then please share it with a friend. And then also follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or subscribe if you are on YouTube. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.